What is going on, my freaks, geeks, and free thinkers? This is Mike Romanelli with the Free Thinker Society. And this is episode number 22. I am here with my main man, my brother from another, Clint Esposito. Clint, what is going on?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm freezing my balls off in the studio. We need heat.
Freezing our balls off, and it's like a nor'easter outside right now.
It's a nor'easter, and it looks like a real one.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're a plow guy.
Yeah, I'm going to be plowing. And
you plow through that shit, right?
I'm going to plow all night, but it's just going to be snow.
Nice. So, yeah, it's freezing, middle of the... I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know we're in a pandemic, the whole nine.
It's number 22.
Episode number 22. This one is fun. We have a guest, guys. It's not just Clint and I talking shit. We have a guest. He's an author. He's got a 6-book deal. His 3rd book just came out yesterday. It's called The Secret Weapon... Yeah, The Secret Weapon, and it's out. My note said out today, so I was about to say out today, and I'm like, wait, no. But yeah, no. This guy is awesome,
and he writes about what did he call? Not astronomy. It's some
astrology, but astro theory.
There you go. I knew it was some kind of.
He let us say astrology because we took the short bus to school.
Layman's.
So we were cool with astrology, but Micha Dank, man, this guy is awesome. I can't wait to have him on. I'm going to read all 3 of his books, and then we're going to have him in studio after fucking COVID because he doesn't live. He's in Long Island, so he's close.
I'm going to make Mike read the books to me.
We were having audio issues, so it took us a little longer. Clint didn't want to sit on my lap. We could have used one mic. He didn't want to do it.
Well, we didn't actually have I thought we were going to have an audio issue, but we did not have an audio issue.
Yeah, timing issues. We actually had none of them. The guy's like, wait, I could hear him. I was like, you can't hear Clint. He's like, hey, I could hear you.
For the first 5 minutes, I sat in silence because I was pretty sure that he wasn't going to be able to hear me over the Zoom call. And then I talked, and he goes, I can hear you. Fine. And I was like, oh, okay. So this one, as always, is brought to you by Hero Soap Company. Hero Soap is sourced and made in the United States, owned by an Air Force veteran. Your first order is matched and sent to deployed service people. You like that?
Yeah.
And also a percentage of the proceeds goes to veteran and first responder charities. And you can actually get 20% off by using the code FREETHINKERS with an S. With an S.
I just ran out of mine. I love it, but I did save on purpose. I saved the peppermint one, and it's one of my wife.
When did you get more? I need more.
I didn't get more. I ran out from the original. That's how long lasting it is.
Yeah. Well.
No, but I have peppermint,
yeah.
And we have it displayed for Christmas time when we have our family over.
You're like, smell this. Everyone must smell this.
No, it's great. It's so great. I do really like this soap. It's awesome.
And there's no parabens or any of that stuff in it, so the stuff won't soak into your testicles.
You practiced that word for a while.
Parabens. Also, we got a new sponsor, Cryo Sport Fit. It is a compression sleeve, but you can put these little... ice, the freezer deals that you put on, like ice packs. They got little ones that go in little pockets on them. So I'm going to get one for my wrist because my wrist sucks and it always hurts. So it's Cryo Fit Sport, and it's KRYO, and you can get 10% off there with the code Esposito10, just 10. That's it.
All right, guys. Give this one a listen. Talk to you later. What's up, man? Hey, today we got an awesome show, guys. I know the last, 5 episodes or so, it's just been Clint and I going over this crazy world. But today we have a special guest, an author. The guy's writing some crazy book, dropping some serious truth bombs out there. Let's welcome Micha Dank to the podcast. What's up, Micha? How are you, man?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
We're good. We're hanging in there. So Micha, did today your 3rd book drop?
Yeah, actually, no, yesterday.
All right, that was pretty cool. When I was looking, I was like, wow, we got him on premiere day.
Yeah.
So you got a 6-book deal, right?
I got a 6-book publishing deal. That's right.
Yeah, and now are these books going to all be related? Same topics?
Yeah, it's one So they're thrillers.
Nice.
Okay,
Okay.
they're thrillers, and I release the information in thriller form. They're like the best way I could describe it is if you like the Da Vinci Code,
Mm-hmm.
like the main character was Neo from the Matrix.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to read them. Um, that's really cool, man, because when I started my spiritual awakening, my meditation teacher told me about this time. This was maybe 20 years ago. Let's call it 15 to be safe. And when I met him, he said that we're going to have this golden age awakening, and it's not going to be, and he goes, it's not going to, it's, the information is going to be released through movies and books and art and decoded. And that's interesting that you're dropping these knowledge through this style. I like it. I like it a lot. I love. I actually didn't know that part. And I'm really excited that that's how you're doing it.
You can get away with murder if you write fiction, right?
Yeah.
Because anyone could just sit there and be like, "This is bullshit. It's fake.
Yes.
It's just a fiction story." And then other people read it and be like, yeah, I've had people message me, fans, and they're like, "Yeah, I just basically sit with your book with a highlighter, and I just highlight stuff, and I look it up later."
Now, let's introduce the audience because I've been doing my research on you a little bit about yourself. But what you just said, I want to get back to in a second. So just tell us a little bit about yourself so we can get into the fun stuff.
Okay, so basically, I about 7 years ago, I was living in Boston, and I was living with an ex who I'm no longer with. And I started getting into these esoteric sciences and everything because we had just moved there from Long Island, and I didn't really know people. We didn't really know people, so we would like go out to dinner once in a while, but that was it, and then mostly just stay home. And Boston's snow is ridiculous. So basically, you're trapped at home, and I would just take the iPad and I would just like research people. And then I came across Jordan Maxwell,
Yep.
one of his videos of him. And I found it interesting, and then I talked to one of my friends, Charles, about it, and he sent me a video to Santos,
Yep.
and that just blew my mind. So I started studying everything that Santos was talking about for like 6 months to a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally I was like able to start decoding it on my own because I
Nice.
really had a good understanding of like the zodiac and how it's hidden in astrology and hidden in the Bible and stuff. So I started writing my own stuff. And then I realized, I have an English degree. So I figured, let me just write some stories. This has to get published. I just kept telling myself, this has to get published. People need to know this. So basically, I eventually ended up getting an agent after 2 years of trying. And then my agent, after about 2 years of her trying, got me a publishing deal. My publisher took one look at the first book and signed me for the rest of the 6.
That's awesome, man. That's great. Now, with your research in astrology, right? We'll use the term astrology for what we're talking about for most. All right.
Well, astrotheology or astrology.
Astrotheology. Okay. I knew it's a much smarter word. I'm trying to be smart. Clint's like laughing. So can I just say astrology for this one? But
yeah, dude.
So
dude, you could do whatever you like.
So I know I love astrology, right? It's something deep down I know is real. I've met with some astrologers and that were the real deal. That gave me your birthday and all that stuff, and the stuff that they tell you about me and my wife, my kids. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't have the knowledge you have, but it's so interesting. I've visited many of the ancient ruins. Clint has been to the pyramids, and I know how that stuff's all lined. It's just a big chunk that it's a big part of it's a big part of knowledge that we don't know about, right? That we don't get taught it in school. But all the greats, all the masters, something recently, yesterday, right? Yesterday, the day before was a big day, right?
The 21st in 5 days.
Okay, that's what is that? It can be solstice.
What's basically happening? No. Well, yes, it's the solstice, that's for sure. So that's a powerful day to begin with. But what's happening is that Jupiter and Saturn are conjoining, which means they're coming into one, and they're making what's known as the Christmas star. So it's just this giant bright light in the sky, and it's about after the sun goes down for about 45 minutes, you'll see it.
Now, powerful people, even just businessmen, right? Powerful companies, they sign deals. They start businesses and things on certain days with the stars. They still follow that, but they don't. Us peasants, they don't tell us about it, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there's a reason why they always crash the market in Libra.
Okay.
For example. You know, that good or bad, they follow it. J.P. Morgan said famously that millionaires don't need astrology, but billionaires do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the big boys in charge, right? They're
Right.
using it, and they know
Of
about it,
course.
right?
Yeah.
Now we are. Did we enter the age of Aquarius, or are we headed there?
We did. We did. We entered the age of Aquarius. So you remember December 21st, 2012, the end of the Mayan
Oh
calendar,
yeah, I remember it.
where everybody went ape shit and they
Yeah.
thought the world was going to end.
Caught
And this,
myself an
that, and
opiate
the
addiction, thinking the world was going to end. But yeah, I got you.
yeah. You know, basically that was the end of Pisces. That wasn't the end of Aquarius. What happened is the Mayan calendar ran out.
Okay.
It said it was the end of an age,
Yes.
not the end of times.
So what was that actually true? Did we enter the age of Aquarius
Yeah,
then?
we've been in it for about 8 years.
Okay. Now, when we start into a new age, and
Yes.
where are we at with that? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it bumpy? Is it going to be beautiful? Is it going to be hell? What do you
Well,
get from it?
I can explain it to you best this way. We're in the age of Aquarius now, but during the age of Taurus, which was the Egyptians, and you could see all these writings on the wall of bulls with the sun between its horns. It's telling you there, right there. They were the main people. They used to sacrifice perfect bulls. So they were the people then. Then Aries comes around, and the Jews become the most prevalent people, right? And the Egyptians kind of fade a little bit. And the Jews, you know, they celebrate by blowing the ram's horn because it's Aries. It's Aries the ram. Okay. And basically, it's interesting, too, because in the Bible, Moses comes down with the tablets, and he sees them worshiping a golden calf.
Yep.
Now, and he gets pissed. He gets pissed about it, and he shatters the tablets. That's where the term lawbreaker comes from, by the way, because he broke the law.
Oh.
With the tablets. But what he basically did was he saw them worshiping a golden calf. Now, if you take it literally, they welded together a giant gold bull. Or what they're talking about is they were worshiping, it was a metaphor for worshiping the sun in Taurus, which was the previous time period. But you had to leave that time period because you're in the age of Aries now. So fast forward a little bit and come to the age of Pisces, and Jews start to fade, and Christianity comes up, right? And Christianity comes up, and you got, you know, Jesus feeds the masses with 2 fish. 2 fish is Pisces. The Jesus fish on the car, it's all Pisces, you know? And then so now you're very early on right now, you're starting to see that Christianity is starting to wane a little bit, and it's time for a new world religion.
Which is the age of Aquarius, right? Which is this new age, right?
Right.
Now, do you look at it as a positive or a negative?
Both. I think negatively it's going to be when humans merge with technology.
You're speaking my language, okay?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the new, like everything Elon Musk does is garbage, kind of stuff. I think that's what the new religion is going to be. Now, 1,000 years from now, they'll look back in time and be like, there's a new religion. Here's where it started. But the interesting thing is when like the Egyptians, the Jews, and the Christians came around, there was no computers. There was no instant communication. We couldn't do this kind of talk, you know, from Jersey to me. I'd have to get on a horse and drive for 2 days to come see you, you know? So basically there was none of that. So it was a lot easier to just basically rape and pillage and spread your new religion, and then give enough time so that it's muddied, so people don't know the truth behind it. So a lot of people believe it. But nowadays, everything is so interconnected, so it has to be different. For instance, at the last sign, we went from BC to CE, the Common Era, or or AD, I should say, after Anno Dominus, I think it means, which is after the death of Christ. But you're not going to be able to spread a world religion now. People won't have it. But you are starting to see Christianity dwindle a little bit.
Absolutely.
You're starting to see everybody talking about this might be the last pope,
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind
Yep.
of things. It's just because it's coming to an end. You need a new sign. So that's negatively, but positively, we are all awakening
Yes.
to this kind of stuff. Because of the internet, we are literally all able to share information that we never would have used to get
Mm-hmm.
back in the day.
Do you see a golden age upon us? Through the.
I can tell you this much right now from all I've researched.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the Bible, they call it. They say that evil can't win. Evil can't, because good always trumps evil.
Light, right? Yeah, the light will always.
The light always, exactly. So I think that it's going to take some time. There's going to be some big changes. But the one thing I don't do with astrology is I don't make predictions on when something's going to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I don't really believe in that, to be honest. I don't believe in that as much as I don't believe, some other things that I really don't believe. But I think that
that's a rough one, right? That's a tough business to be in. But more of I'm not even asking you for specific dates. I'm saying more of like the age. What do you see as this coming coming of an enlightenment age, a golden age?
Well, I see an elevation of consciousness.
Yeah,
for sure. You're going to see they're already starting to decriminalize hallucinogens,
mm-hmm.
which is what aided us to begin with, to jump our consciousness a level to begin with. You're starting to see it decriminalized.
Absolutely.
So I see that happening. People are going to be more open to that kind of stuff. People aren't going to be able to take propaganda in. I think you're going to see, because the way things are is that the rulers love the Democrats and the Republicans. And I don't talk politics.
Yeah, but they love the division. Right?
They love the division. They love how it's like literally 50-50.
The division's driving me
I mean?
fucking. I'm sorry to cut you off, man, but division is literally. We have to get into politics sometimes on here because it's where it gets. I don't really take a side, but I hate the division. I hate it, and I believe a lot of this. Even if you don't want to, it's great to have an episode where we're not talking about COVID, but I truly believe the conspiracy of COVID is keeping everyone out of the bars, restaurants, and comedy clubs, because that's the only place where everyone speaks the same language. You have a couple of drinks at 10 o'clock, you lower your guard, and you realize that we're all the same, and this propaganda is the only thing that's fucking dividing us.
Absolutely.
100%,
man. 100%. You speak in my language.
So another thing that you brought up,
did you just take a drink out of a whiskey jug?
No. I'm not drinking on today's episode. No, that's just a big water bottle.
Oh, okay.
No drinks today. This is too serious. In a fun, serious way. So you brought up Elon Musk, right? He's a really lovable guy when you listen to him. He seems so cool, but I have the same feeling deep down. I always go with my gut. Is like, the things he's pushing. Yeah, the electric car seems really cool, but the Neuralink, get that shit.
Yeah, do you know the electric car is great? Do you know what about the slave labor to mine the lithium?
Yeah, no one talks about that. No one talks about those batteries.
How the batteries are horrible for the environment.
Yeah.
And those factories that make them, they're just pumping pure poison.
That's the new way of human thinking, is just put a Band-Aid on it. Put your finger on the pipe with the and it's just gonna come out the other end. We just put Band-Aids. That's our medical system. That's everything. Clint, if you want to jump in, man, just let me know. Like I said, you can sit on my lap. It's Christmas time, but I can pass you the mic too, whatever you want.
It's fine. I'm
I hear you.
learning. You hear me. He doesn't hear me.
Sorry.
I hear you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I hear you
cool.
perfectly.
Oh, nice.
And there's no echo.
Perfect.
I'm smarter than I thought I was.
He was trying to freak out, but awesome. So Clint, jump in whenever you want. So what I was getting at with Elon Musk, right, is I'm petrified of this transhuman agenda, and I think that's the negative. And I love that you said that right out the gate, because I feel like it's more I just got to tell my kids, and it'll probably be my kids. I don't know if it's my grandkids, but just keep telling them and telling people with kids, like, do not upload to the fucking machine. It's the big. I just feel like that's gonna be the true. Want that enlightenment. That's just what my gut's been telling me. It's some stuff I've read, and kind of put the information together is like, we're going to hit a point where it's like, do you want to live forever? Either do a chip or upload your consciousness or whatever they're going to trick you into doing.
Don't do that.
Yeah, because then you're not going to, listen, this is speculation, but then you're not going to go through the cycles of life, which is the true, you keep doing this thing over and over till you get it right. That's my gut. I don't know what you think about
I don't know
that.
about you, but I don't want to be stuck on Earth forever.
No,
I don't want to be
fuck
here.
that.
I don't want to be here like long after everyone you care about is dead.
Yeah.
And then you just get like just pay some cam girl who's like 900 years younger than you to come over. I don't need any of that shit.
I don't need any of that either. It's very true. I love the cam girl. It's 900. She's so cute. She's 900 years younger than me. Fuck that.
You're literally 8 times my age.
So, okay. Why, if I could ask you another question, why are certain deals made on certain solstices and they say never to sign a contract on during a retrograde, and what is that?
Retrogrades are interesting. Retrograde, what it basically means is when the two, like you have Earth right here, right? And then you have the other planet that's going like this. But at a certain point, one's going faster than the other and it looks like it's going in reverse. That's what a retrograde is. Okay, and it's a shifting of energy.
Okay.
You know about the human heart, the toroidal field, right?
Yes.
That it's like 6 feet outside your body. I was talking to one of my friends recently who said when it's fully activated, it's actually 60 feet. But energies of that nature, like we're linked into the magnetic hum in the world, in the atmosphere. And basically, there's energies out there that you don't want to mess with, that you just kind of have to tiptoe when they come around a little bit.
Yep.
But I mean, you're not supposed to. The thing is that the solstices and the equinoxes are the most important days of the year. Okay, they're the most important days of the year in astrology.
Explain to our listeners about it a little bit if you can. Those important days.
So a solstice. So everybody's seen the zodiac wheel, right? And Capricorn, the goat, is at the bottom and Cancer's on top. And then Aries is on the left and then Libra's on the right. When you connect the solstices and the equinox, you get a perfect cross. That's the cross of God's son that he lives and dies on. Okay? And the energy that you have on the spring solstice, which is in Aries, it's a spring equinox. It's a 12-hour day, 12-hour night. It's also when the Jews celebrate the Passover, or in astrology, it's the Passover, the passing over of the sun over the equator. Okay, on its way to its height in the summer solstice. And in Christianity, they celebrate Easter around the spring equinox, which is known as the resurrection of God's son. So you have the Passover of the sun and the resurrection of God's son. It's the same meaning.
So do you think when the Bible and Torahs were written that this was written almost what you're doing to hide the knowledge that way? Is that what your belief?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Because it serves their benefit. Because they're using sacred knowledge against you so that you can believe in something on face value, which you shouldn't be doing.
But is there, in decoding that, are you gaining yourself knowledge?
Yeah.
Right?
You're
that's the real.
Well, I'm a writer too. Okay. I have a 6-book deal. Yeah. Okay. And I wrote my book and I wrote it, my books, you can decode my books. The main characters' names are Graham and Hannah, or Hanagram, or anagram. So all the names are anagrams of people in the real world. If you decode it, then the story makes even more sense to you.
Yeah.
So I've been able to do that. But the Bible, you can literally read it one way and then read a completely different story underneath it.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cool stuff in there, right? Have you ever Go ahead.
I was gonna go over it with you guys.
Let's go. Let's do it. Because Clint, right? You're reading a book right now, right?
Well, I finished it.
You did.
I was listening to it. I wasn't reading the thing.
Okay.
The immortality key, about basically how all of the sacraments originally there was a religion before Christianity, which they basically stole a bunch of parts of a lot of things that it was a pagan religion. A lot of things you
It's
were
called
saying.
It's called Mithraism.
There you go.
Nice.
He knows the whole thing. So that's what I was listening to about how.
Well, you can
basically-
see it nowadays too with the Pope, with the mitre, the hat the Pope has.
Yeah.
Okay, you take it off, you turn it sideways, it looks like a fish. That's from Mithra. Mithra was the fish god. They had another fish god back then too. Its name was Dagon, Dagon, and it would come out of the water and it would teach people things, and then it would go back in. You see all these ancient drawings about fishmen coming out. That's where you get the mermaids, the idea of mermaids and mermen from.
Well, so what about Dionysus? Because that's what had a lot of similarities to Jesus as far as turning water into wine and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I can explain that. That's
Yeah.
all astrology.
Let's hear
That's
it.
all astrology. All right. So these are some questions that you can ask. You could say, how was Jesus able to heal the blind? How he walked on water? How he turned water into wine? Why he had 12 disciples? Why he was betrayed with a kiss by Judas? Why he was dead for 3 days? Why his birthday is December 25th? All that is astrology.
Okay.
Okay. Now, do you want me to go through the 12 signs really quickly, or can I just assume that your listeners know the 12 signs?
Clint, do you want to hear them?
I mean, I know what the signs are.
I know what the signs are, and obviously the ones that affect my family I have an idea of. But I mean, yeah, let's just skip that. Everyone, you could research that, right? Because I'm sure you got a lot of information to drop right
Well,
now.
actually, you know what? There is some information in here that I want to share.
Good, yeah,
So let me
go
just
for
do
it. Go
this
for it,
real
man.
quick. All right. So the first sign is Aquarius, which is represented by the man. It's the man with the water pitcher. I'm briefly going through these. Okay. Then Pisces is the sign of the two fish in the water. Now Aries is the ram, and we went over the spring equinox, the Passover, the resurrection. It's also why the Jews smear the lamb's blood on the door, because it's a ram to protect them, because they're the people of Aries. They're the chosen ones. And it's why they also blow the ram's horn to the sky, because they're signifying the ram.
Okay.
Taurus is the bull. You have to understand is that back when this stuff came up, all this astrology stuff, when it first came up, they needed it because they needed to know when to plant, when to harvest, when winter was coming. You know, those are big deals. Without that stuff, you starve and you die.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see Taurus, the bull, as above, so below, you put the plow on the bull and then you plant for the rest of the year. Gemini is the twins. Cancer is the crab, and it's a sideways moving creature. So the sun, what it does is it rises a degree on it. You have the zodiac wheel, and the sun starts at the bottom, and it rises a degree on its axis every single day. It stops on the height of its axis, which is the summer solstice. Then for 3 days, it stays there. Then it drops a degree. And then it continues to drop a degree until it hits December 21st. And then it stops for 3 days. And then it comes back to life December 25th. That's why he's born on December 25th. It's also why they say that God's son was dead for 3 days, because it literally doesn't rise for 3 days.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So, so you have Leo, which is the king. He's the lion. He's the king of the jungle. The ruling planet of Leo is the sun. So anytime they're ever talking about the Jesus in his kingdom, they're talking about Leo, the sun in Leo. Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk. Okay? She's the virgin holding the wheat stalk, because you remember you plant in Taurus, right?
Yep.
Well, in Virgo, with the wheat stalk, you harvest the wheat. It's finally ready, and you harvest the wheat and you make the bread. Okay? Then Libra is the justice. It's the scales. It judges the sun. It's the just one. It's judgment. That's why the Jews in Libra have Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement, because they're being judged. It has to do with Libra. It also has the fall equinox. So the sun passes over the fall equinox, and the sun judges it, and it commends it to death. Where basically it's gonna be in Libra, and then it's gonna go into Scorpio, and then it's gonna go into Sagittarius and die, and then be reborn, and then come back to life. So
Now, the one that you had said where the woman's holding the wheat.
That Virgo, yeah.
So I think that it's interesting. It's a woman holding the wheat, because basically what that book was also saying was that reason that they originally started civilizations was to make psychedelic beer made from the wheat, and it was always made and administered by women. So I think that's another interesting tie-in.
Well, I mean, not to veer too far off my thing, but that's basically what it is. That's what manna was. Manna was man, M-A-N in Hebrew means what's this? So they were walking through, and then they saw this. They were called white round things on the floor, and they saw them, and they said, "What's this?" They were mushrooms. They ate it, and they saw God. So there's psychedelics and spirituality through everything. That evolves our consciousness.
Yeah.
You know, as a group.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But so Libra is also, this is important. Libra is wine season. Okay, so you smash the grapes and you get the wine in Libra. So in Virgo you get the bread, and in Libra you get the wine. That's the bread and the wine. That's the symbolism for Christianity. Okay. Now Scorpio is the scorpion, and he's the betrayer. Okay, and the reason he's the betrayer is because when a scorpion actually pinches and bites you, it leaves an imprint in your skin that looks like a pair of lips. That's where the mafia gets the kiss of death from. It goes back to that. Yeah, so it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with a kiss, because Judas is Scorpio and Jesus is the sun. So the sun is judged in Libra, it's betrayed in Scorpio, and in Sagittarius, the guy with the bow and the arrow, it finally kills the sun in December 21st, which is Sagittarius. It's dead for 3 days, and then it comes back to life December 25th.
Comes back. Oh.
Okay.
This is fucking. Sorry.
You didn't realize all the astrology on the actual and then the wordplay with everything.
Some of it. Like obviously the son of God, but some of it is just like. It's awesome.
Everything. Every single thing.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, the kiss and all that shit is crazy, man.
So we can go into. I can give you and Capricorn is the goat. And the reason it's the goat is because it's at the bottom of the wheel. So the sun's going to walk a degree every day. It starts in Capricorn. That's the goat. So it starts to climb the mountain. Okay. So that's why it does that. I'm going to start giving you some stuff that we can decode. Are we good with time, by the way?
We're fine, dude. The stars are aligned because it just told us that they're not going to kick us out.
They're not going to make us do the time.
Yeah, we're good. We don't have to do everything we told you in the beginning, the pre-show.
Okay.
It just a little message came up saying that we have unlimited. We're good. So
that's fine. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to take a piss in a few minutes too, but
yeah.
Let me just get some more stuff under your belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you heard of the phrase "pride comes before the fall"?
No. I wanted to say yeah. No.
Well, basically, pride comes before the fall. It's a passage that's in the Bible, and it basically means that like you have to check your ego at the door because it could be your downfall. Okay. But a group of lions is called the Pride, and that's Leo, and that's July, August. That's before the season of the fall.
That's awesome.
There's another one too that I like to give out. It's in the book of Micah, my namesake actually. He says that the prophet, not the prophet, he says that the Savior is going to come from a town called Bethlehem. Does that sound familiar at all?
That sounds familiar.
Okay.
We're not. That one does. I got you.
All right, cool. So he comes from Bethlehem. Well, so Bethlehem is 2 words in Hebrew. It's bet, which means house, and lechem, which means bread. So it's the house of bread. The house of bread is Virgo with the wheat stalk. So the Savior is going to come from a virgin.
That's fucking crazy. So it really is just all connected.
Yeah. So I mean, even the names of Jesus. You know, he's known as the scapegoat of Israel. That's the goat in Capricorn. Mm-hmm. He's the son of man. That's the man sign in Aquarius. He's the fisherman of men. That's the Pisces, 2 fish. It's also how he fed the masses with 2 fish. He's the Lamb of God, or the Ram in Aries. He's the Lion of Judah, also known as Leo the Lion. The lady holding the stalk of wheat, he's known as the bread of life, and he's also born of a virgin. Libra, the scales of justice, he's known as the just one. Then he's betrayed in Scorpio. He dies in Sagittarius. And it's also why Jesus is worshipped on the sun day, by the way. The sun day.
Let me ask you something real quick. Do you believe that all the previous, the ancient people or the people before us were aware of this stuff? Like everyone, even the regular people, or was it always hidden?
Well, you got to understand, too, is that everybody knows about 325 AD, Constantine and the Council of Nicaea. Everyone knows about that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether he united Christianity on his deathbed being baptized or whether he did it while he was off is kind of like up in the air.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows, if, whatever. But the thing is that around 325 BC, he united Christianity. He had a nephew named Julian the Apostate, who was a pretty famous person at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Constantine's nephew.
Yeah.
And he tried to bring everyone back to sun worship. The original Christians were known as Helio-Gnostics, which is knowers of the sun knowers. They worship the sun.
Mm.
So
Christianity is what made this stuff hidden. So pre-Christianity,
what happened was the Bibles were out, and people realized that it was worship of the sun.
Okay.
And what happened, everybody knew this. And then what was perverted, what they swept the land with, was the literal interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were saying earlier about how people, they knew this because they had to survive. That's what I was wondering. Like, I'm speaking more like ancient before Christianity.
Right.
I would just wonder. I mean, obviously nobody really knows, but if like everyone used this as just common knowledge and this was how they went about
I think the ancients knew it.
Yeah.
I think that the Bibles were written intentionally to encode this and to keep people down.
Yeah. Do you have any? Might be too big of a topic before everyone wants to take a break for the bathroom, but where do you know about astrology and the all the pyramids and things like that?
As far as the pyramids go?
Yeah, how they're set up.
Well, I write about it in book 2.
Yeah.
I talk about it in book 2 and in book 5.
Cool.
Or book 6. I do talk about it. Like all the kind of conspiracy stuff that you could possibly think you want to know about is in this. It's the storylines are based on astrotheology. The hidden codes they figure out are astrology to get them through the books, because it's like Dan Brown. It's cryptograms, anagrams. That's all astrology. But the storyline goes into all sorts of stuff. Book 1 talks a lot about MK Ultra. It's mostly about MK Ultra and how it's used. And it's in a story form, so it's fun to read. But as far as the pyramid goes, the pyramids were lined up to match Orion's belt.
Yeah. Do you have any like why they would do that? Do you have any idea?
There are theories that there were celestial beings from Orion, because you see triple pyramid lineups all over the place. That there were beings from there. There's other beings. They mentioned 7 a lot in the Bible too, which is the 7 sisters, which is the Pleiadian stars, the 7 bright stars of the Pleiades. But there's a system there too. A lot of it talks about that there were these ancient aliens. I hate to use that phrase, that actually have been here before.
Yeah.
When things weren't so crazy.
I think they're here right now, holding shit down.
I think that the ancients passed down information to the civilizations here through psychedelics.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand, it's interesting too, is because you know the story of the Anunnaki, right?
Yeah, I do.
You heard about the story of the Anunnaki?
I watch Ancient Aliens.
Right. So the Anunnaki, they needed
Stitchin, right? Stitchin's the guy that
Zechariah Stitchin, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're basically talking about how they had to fix the atmosphere because they needed gold. So they came here and they messed with the DNA and they did this. It's interesting too, because if you look at it, if you really dive into the second chromosome 2, what you'll find that it's 35% larger than the others. And what you'll also find is that down the middle in the half, it looks like it's fused together, like it was welded shut.
That's so interesting, man. That's so fucking interesting.
I wonder what they repaired. They were like, these
They
idiots. We just need to rewire them a teeny bit, and they'll be fine.
It does seem like that. It seems like we were that we were kind of made from something else, like some kind of being. Like that whole thing, the whole Annunaki thing does make a lot of sense.
I'm gonna let you guys talk, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. It makes so much fucking
thanks.
sense, right? Like the Anunnaki thing does make a lot of sense.
What's the full?
It's like they basically create us as like, of course, the expert leaves the room when you ask me. But no, it's like something like they basically, it's like a slave. Like we're slave for them to get gold. They needed gold, and they
it's the reverse
us.
of a movie that I want to write.
They stole my idea, man.
Well, it's the reverse.
Fucking Zachariah Sitchin stole my idea, motherfucker. Fuck him.
Yo, and that's a famous story, right? Everybody knows about that.
It's kind of famous.
So that means that I wrote like a super famous story. No one knows, not even me. Till just now.
We're not live. Can we pause for a second too? Because I just drank about half a gallon of water myself. Is it too hard?
All right, everybody, we're pausing. We will be back.
We're good. All right, Micah. So where are we? Give me some other decodings that are blow my mind.
All right. So I'll go into Revelation because everybody's.
Oh
Revelation,
yes,
right?
yeah. Let's freak me out a little bit more.
So they said the first living creature was like a lion. The second was like an ox. The third had a face like a man. The fourth was like a flying eagle. Now, Scorpio is the belly-crawling creature. It's the lowest form of life on Earth. It crawls on its belly.
Every time you say something like about Scorpio, I laugh because that's Clint.
That's my sign.
So it's hilarious when you've been.
Technically, probably not. Now, right? The times it's supposed to have changed, so we're not actually going by the correct signs anymore.
No, I'll get into that. That's bullshit.
Okay, good.
That's bullshit. That's just another control mechanism.
Damn it.
Okay, so what I was saying is that the Scorpio, its evolved form in astrology is the eagle. And from the eagle, its evolved form is the phoenix, which is the story of the bird that dies, and then it's in its ashes. It's on fire like the sun. It dies, and then it comes back to life like Jesus, like the sun.
Yep.
So the fourth, like a flying eagle, that's Scorpio. If you take those four signs, lion, that's Leo, ox, that's Taurus, face like a man, that's Aquarius, and the fourth was like a flying eagle, that's Scorpio. You remember the perfect cross that happens with the solstices and the equinox?
Yep.
This forms an X between them. And when it forms the X between them, it's also all the fixed signs of the zodiac.
Okay.
And as far as adding the 13th sign, Ophiuchus, everything that I'm telling you as far as astrology goes, okay, when you add the 13th sign, it makes it incompatible. You no longer have a perfect cross, and just a bunch of different things. It was literally, they tried to add it just to keep you further away from the truth.
See, Clint, that's what that's for. Just a fucking, they do that with everything, man.
Psyop, bro.
Psyop. Yeah, psyop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly what not to throw you off,
Fuckers.
but that's what I think flat Earth is. I think it's just another thing just to get everybody going in different directions, right? Because people start getting
There's a lot of hate out there about flat Earth. Like, flat Earthers get furious when you tell them it's round.
Both ways, man. I've looked into it. Not that for me, it's just whatever. But yeah, both. It does. It's interesting how people get so angry either way.
Yeah.
I feel like people have just gotten less tolerant of any challenging.
The more tolerant we get, the less tolerant we are of conspiracies. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to give you another Revelation one, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to paraphrase this one. This is Revelation 12. A great sign appeared in heaven. A woman. This is the woman and the dragon. Have you heard of this one?
No. The woman and the dragon? None.
A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to earth. So in astrology, the woman clothed with the sun is the sun in Virgo. It's a metaphor for the sun being in Virgo, the woman. And if the sun's in Virgo, then the moon is directly under her, which is under her feet. And then an enormous red dragon comes, and there's a constellation called Draco in the heavens, okay? And its tail goes from Aries to Sagittarius. That's a third of the zodiac. So its tail sweeps a third of the stars out of the sky.
Wow. What about the four horsemen? Anything with that?
So the four horsemen, I believe, the horseman is Sagittarius.
Okay.
It's the man on the horse. That's the horseman. And the sun dies in Sagittarius 4 times.
Okay.
Okay. There's 4 gospels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where Jesus dies in Sagittarius. So those are the 4 horsemen.
So the whole story is basically just about the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole thing is just about the sun, and no, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. But like, what else are they hiding from us in there? You know, like there's got to be. I feel like if you they're hiding it from us for a reason, and something to do with like building and moving forward, and I don't know. Have you got anything like that? Have you figured anything out from that? Like anything that's been like, holy shit, this is what they're hiding from us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I can. I'm going to give you a longer.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm just like,
I want to give you.
It's awesome, man. I love it. I love it.
I'm going to give you a longer passage now.
Okay.
Because Okay, so we did Revelation. That's the New Testament. Let's go back to the Old Testament and see if it's the same shit.
Okay.
So Job 38:32. Are you familiar with the story of Job?
No, but I no. Go ahead.
You've been a bad Christian.
I'm a real bad Christian. When this thing first started, I started listening to the Bible at night, trying to get. And I went to Catholic school too, man.
Oh God. Okay, so Job.
I never claimed to be Christian, just to be clear.
That's fine. So Job 38:32. It starts off. It says, "Can you lead forth the Mazzaroth?" Now the Mazzaroth literally means the zodiac. So God's asking, "Can you tell the zodiac?" In time, Mazzaroth becomes Mazalot, and then further down the line, it becomes Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov in Hebrew means good fortune from the stars. So what is the Lord's challenge to Job in this? He says to Job, "Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt?" Those are pretty obvious, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then he says, "Can you bring forth the constellation in their seasons or lead out the bear with its cubs?" The constellations are the zodiac above, and the bear and its cubs are Ursa Major, the Great Bear, and Ursa Minor, part of the Big Dipper. Who can tip over the water jars of heaven? That's Aquarius. Do you hunt the prey for the lioness and satisfy the hunger of the lions? That's Leo. Who provides food for the raven? That's the constellation Corvus, which means raven and borders Virgo. Do you watch where the doe bears her fawn? That's Mariga, M-R-I-G-A, which means deer and is located in Orion. Who let the wild donkeys go free? That's Acellus Borealis, which means donkey and is located in Cancer. Will the wild ox consent to serve you? That's Taurus, the bull. The wings of the ostrich flap joyfully. That's Lambda Achille or Al Thaliman, which means 2 ostriches in Arabic. Do you give the horse its strength? It laughs at fear, afraid of nothing. It does not shy away from the sword. The quiver rattles against its side along with the flashing spear and lance. Sagittarius with the bow and the arrow. We'll get back to this flashing spear because spear is an important word in the Bible. Does the eagle soar at your command and build its nest on high? Aquila is the Latin name for eagle and is a constellation a few degrees above the celestial equator. Finally, he says, can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook? And that's the fish Pisces. The entire challenge from Job to him is just hidden astrology.
Wow. Is there any part of the Bible that does not have astrology in it?
I mean, it's like a story.
So there's like, some stuff in there that's just in there, right? Just to
just it's called, we call it filler.
Filler, yeah.
We call it filler, yeah.
Wow.
The interesting thing about it, against its side, along with the flashing spear and lance, the word spear comes up a couple times in the Bible. The 2 biggest murders in the Bible are Cain and Abel, the first murder. Cain in Hebrew literally means spear. And Jesus, when he's killed in Sagittarius, they hit him in the side with the spear. Okay, so the spear is hidden there. Also, it's interesting because William Shakespeare had a hand in writing the Bible.
Really?
And I'll prove it to you. Yes, because
wow.
when the Bible in 1511, the Bible was being translated by William Tyndale from the King's orders, King James's orders. Okay. And William Shakespeare would have been 46 years old at the time. In Psalm 46, the 46th word from the top is shake, and the 46th word from the bottom is spear.
Come on. That's fucking nuts, man. See, that's the shit. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Some stuff in. Imagine being like,
this is the stuff I'm talking about. Come on, keep dropping it. This is crazy. That's nuts, man. That's fucking nuts.
Remember earlier we asked the questions, how was Jesus able to heal the blind? How he walked on water, turned water into... How Jesus was able to heal the blind? Well, there's a story of him walking up and touching a blind man in the eye and then he being able to see. Well, when the sun goes down and it's dark and you can't see. And when the sun comes up and the sun touches your eyes, suddenly you can see. How he walked on water. You ever see a sunset on the lake?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Well, the sun walks on water. How he turned water into wine. You remember how you plant in Taurus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. April showers bring May flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So basically what happens is God's known as a man and Earth is a woman because of God's sacred fluid. Rain is actually called shemen in Hebrew. We get the word semen from it as sacred life. So God's rain comes down on Earth and impregnates Mother Earth, and from her all things grow.
Yeah.
Okay. So April showers bring May flowers, and then that's the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then over time, you pick the grapes in Libra to make the wine, and that's the water into wine.
Well, I mean, it's really, when you think about it, it's that simple. It is like, holy shit, right? It's just, that's the water to wine. Wow. When you started doing this, when you started decoding this, would you like, holy shit? Like, were you, when you
I came like 26 times. It was ridiculous.
Awesome. Have you studied gematria at all?
A little bit,
right? But how do you feel how do you feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about sacred numerology.
Yeah.
It's basically it's Jewish numerology. It's basically in the Kabbalah and it's in there. I know some of it, like the word chai, which means life, is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So 18 is a specific number.
Yeah.
For the Jews, it's a very popular number. That's why when you travel, you're supposed to give somebody, if you're Jewish, when you travel, you're supposed to give somebody money in increments of 18. 36 is double life, which is double high. But there's all sorts of stuff in there as far as like gematria goes. I'm not really sure how I feel. Like 2 is the powerful number. It does. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. That's not really my forte.
I was gonna say you're more of you're a writer, right? So it makes sense that you're more into this decoding the books, the ancient books. What about other books besides the Bible? Have you decoded any other like Bhagavad Gita or any of that kind of stuff?
No, I haven't really gotten into that. I still have to read a ton of them, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
I've decoded the whole book of Matthew, line by line.
Oh shit!
What you do line by line it's interesting though, because if you're the sun and you're in a specific sign, if there was a part in the Bible that said, and the twins said, then I would know that they're in Gemini for the twins.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next passage might say something about a bull, or it might say something about a crab. So that's either side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or it might say something about a horse, which is its cross sign. So what you find is that in the Bible, it goes along the arc, or it goes back, or it goes across, and then continues to go. It always follows the same pattern.
Wow.
I've done that. I've done the Book of Enoch.
Yeah. And same thing. You're just gonna mostly just keep getting the about the zodiac and the signs and the cycle of Earth.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what all of them are.
Wow. Let me ask something else. So I sat down in Sedona. It was actually by mistake. We did an Airbnb and I think it was our last day there. And the guy was like, "Hey, I could, I'm an astrologist." I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, you have a couple hours. I'm like, a couple hours. So he's like, just, you want our birth date, time, all that stuff. He sat down and just.
And location, yeah.
Great, yeah. But what he uncovered, I mean, was insane. And just really just telling us who we were, really.
Yeah.
But do you have any information on that kind of stuff? Like where you're born and all that kind of stuff and how it lines up and what does it mean? And
that's not the kind of astrology that I do.
That's not your thing?
No. I do decodings.
Okay.
And I write fun stories.
All right, cool. No, I just did it. But you're aware of it, right? I mean, or what do you think?
Of course. I get my chart done every year.
Oh, okay. It's really cool, right? I mean, and that's amazing. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, there's so much mystery behind this stuff. Like, I wish a theme on this podcast a lot is like, I always say that us humans have so much more potential than we're aware of. Like, it's like we're like, it's like if you went back in time and handed someone an iPad, they'd have no idea what to do with it. But if they could figure it out, it would blow their mind. I feel like that's what the human body, human experience is. Like, we don't understand. We have little hacks. We know we're learning certain things, right? But I feel like there's a way you're supposed to breathe, a way you're supposed to eat, a way you're supposed to sleep, like that we just don't know. And if we did it, we'd be these super machines. And we talk about that a lot. And it's the same thing with astrology. It's like if we really knew how to use this information and we could just be such as a humanity as a whole could be so much better, and I think we're getting there. I really do. I really believe
that doesn't serve the elite's purposes.
No, but I think the scales are tipping. I do. Like you said,
we're still very early.
It's right. You think that too, right? Like, but we are definitely awakening. People are awakening at a greater rate than ever.
Right.
When I first started opening up my eyes and realizing this is all bullshit. I didn't tell anybody for years. Honestly, it really wasn't until I met Sam Tripoli that I started just talking about it to everybody, because I was always just keeping it like I was scared. I was really, especially about the elite stuff and realizing like about all these false flags and the earliest, not the positive stuff, the really like crazy shit. I was really scared. I I knew this stuff was real. I was like, holy shit, no, this stuff is real. And I would just I always say I kept myself in the closet with it. And now like everyone's awakening and so many people are awakening. And it's like, I just talked to the guy who I get my insurance from. And I could tell by the tone of the conversation early that he was hiding something. And then boom, you hear the door shut and he just goes off. And I'm like, all right, slow down, man. I've been aware of this stuff for a very long time. But it's just cool, right? The guy who was just renewing my health insurance, I know him forever. We never would speak about, we'll just call it the Illuminati or whatever. Like, that's something we never talk about. We talk about maybe you see the Giants game, you see the Eagle game, something like that. Not, And I know this guy for 20 years.
Well, that's what they want you to talk about. They don't want you talking about this shit.
Yeah, bread and circus, right? Just bullshit.
Yeah. Sam's a great guy, by the way.
No,
I did a show like a week ago.
He's the best. Which one did you go on? Zero?
No, I did tinfoil.
Oh, nice. Was XG on there?
XG was on there. I met him.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine as well.
Okay, yeah, I did a show. It's going to go on in like a week. They're going to put it up in a week.
Awesome. Yeah, Sam is one of the greatest people I've can't say enough about that guy. But man, it's like I do think we're obviously in a bumpy. It's bumpy, and it's going to be bumpier. And you said December 21st, right? I know, and I'm not holding you to any dates, but I've been hearing that date a lot. Astrologically, what does that mean, that date?
December 21st is the day the sun dies. It's the shortest day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then for 3 additional days, the sun stays at that level. Okay, so for 4 days, it's going to be the shortest and the basically coldest day of the year. The interesting thing, too, is that on December 21st, it's the middle of summer in Australia. So all this science that I'm talking to you about, all this encoded stuff, is only because the Egyptians and the Jews and the Christians wrote the books, wrote the Bibles. They're all in the northern hemisphere. This stuff everything is backwards in the south.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that. So American of me. Fucking A. Holy shit, you're right, man. So how does it work for them? for all this stuff? Just reverse, like.
They just know. Well, Santos Bonocci, he teaches this. Maybe not the same kind of stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Similar. He gets into like the real nitty gritty about astrology. I just show how the zodiac declares the Bible, and I write stories.
Have you met Santos? Have you met him yet? You guys got to get together.
I've talked to him. I've emailed him before.
Cool. My mind was blown when I listened to that episode with Tinfoil Hat. Sam said, you got to listen to this episode. I was actually going on a long drive by myself. I stayed in the car just to finish it. That was amazing. And then I started watching that guy's videos. Wow. Amazing dude. Now he's a flat earther though, right?
He is.
Which is so interesting.
So.
It's so interesting. Yeah. Like, how does that work? But I guess it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. All I know is that in book one, my first two people I dedicate my book to are Jordan and Santos.
Yeah. Jordan Maxwell.
The first two people.
Yeah, that's the OG, man. That is the OG of conspiracy. Is Jordan Maxwell okay? I haven't heard from him in a while. I feel like while the shit's hit the fan, I haven't heard much out of him or from him. But wow, that's the OG, man. That's one of the originals. Him, David Icke, and those guys were the originals that I would listen to back in the day.
Right.
Which is another interesting thing.
When you first like became awake to all this kind of stuff, did you have like a total nervous breakdown?
Well,
because that's very common to happen when you realize that you've been lied to your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, yes, I did, but I also I freaked out a lot. I was scared. Then I got into like the psychedelic movement with shamans and stuff, and it all made so much sense to me. And honestly,
I got ayahuasca.
Yeah, lots of ayahuasca. Yeah, peyote ceremonies, all that stuff. I did for a couple years. I haven't in years, but I did that for a bunch of years, and it all made sense. Then things got very political, and everything got weird. But it's strange because I call them downloads. All the downloads I was getting through those ceremonies throughout those years all kind of were preparing me for what's happening right now. And not that I'm going through a mental breakdown right now, but I feel like I'm freaking out more now, even though I knew about everything and I was prepared for this. And then I got to check myself a lot. Like, you knew this was coming, motherfucker. Like, this is your time. This is your time. Relax. I feel like my purpose is to help newly awakened people. There's going to be some that are never going to get it, and it's a sad part of this, that some are just, and they're going to be your friends and family that are we'll call them sheep, whatever you want to call them, that are going to, they're not going to get this. They're not going to understand. They don't want to, whatever. But then you're going to get these ones that are awakening, and they're going to have what you're saying, real freakouts, and my job is to I feel, is to pacify them, to explain to them it's going to be okay.
I can't tell you how many people have messaged me on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
And been like, you've changed my whole outlook. I went to church and I never really understood anything, and this makes so much sense. And they buy my books, and they're like 4-page Amazon reviews, and it's just been wild.
Yeah, I saw that you had a lot of great reviews. That's awesome, man. I really can't wait to get into these books. I just been so freaking busy, and I have so many books that
They're short. You could tear them up in 2 days. To be honest, because
great.
One's like, they're each like 250 pages.
As soon as I get home, I'm ordering all 3. But yeah, cool. That's good to know. I could get through.
They're short, and the print is a little bit larger than normal, so you don't need glasses to read it. And there's pictures in it too that help with the stories.
Clint's in pictures. You said all.
Well, it's not a picture.
I know. I'm just messing with Clint. But yeah, man. So yeah, the crazy part. What is funny is that a couple people that I really trust and I know are not crazy. They had that where they were actually like in mental hospitals. I never got that far, and I was not like that. Yeah. But there are a couple, like, I don't know what you want to call them, mystics, psychics, whatever, spiritual healers that I'm in contact with that were actually in loony bins. Because they were spitting knowledge or whatever. When they woke up, and people were like, "You're fucking nuts." My buddy, the insurance guy, use him as an example. I said, "So what does your wife think about this stuff?" She's like, "She calls me a crazy conspiracy theorist." So, because so people, when you start, I've been questioning things since I'm a kid, like literally since I'm a kid. So it's not as crazy for my family and friends. They know that's who I am. I've been that person my whole life. But I also don't drop knowledge to people when it's not warranted. I don't really try to wake people up anymore. Like I said, I like to just be there for them if they're going through a rough time when they start opening their eyes. That's kind of my position on things. But yeah, it's a common thing. Like people freak out, and I think it's more honestly. I think it's more the reaction that people, their loved ones are giving them. That's what probably makes them go nuts, in my opinion. Or anyone that I've known that's been like that. It's because they're dropping truth bombs, and their family is just like, you're fucking nuts, you're crazy, and then they start believing that they're crazy. Why do you did you go through that in the beginning? Or? Yeah,
I did. I did really bad.
Yeah, man. And listen, I think some people, actually I know, I have a couple of friends, very successful, smart people. When I bring this stuff up, lawyers, a couple guys, bring this stuff up, they bite a little bit and they spit it out. And it's because, you know what, I think that they can't handle, it's that stupid line, you can't handle the truth. They can't, they know it's there, but their life is so good. Why go down that, why take the red pill?
Why bust out of the matrix when you
why take the red pill when everything's great? And listen, man, I joke sometimes, because I think that's what I do, everything is a joke to me. But I joke sometimes, and I do mean it, that sometimes I wish I was ignorant. I really do. Like, I can't. My wife and I, we were big Disney fans, right? Here's a perfect example. We were big Disney fans. We went, when we were dating, we went to Disney World 1,000,000 times. I was becoming awake when my daughter was born, and we took her 2 or 3. Like, I won't take my son there. I can't do it. Like, I was a Disney fan. I used to get made fun of by my friends in high school. Like, you like Disney? What's wrong with you? I loved it. I loved the animation. I love Disney. I can't watch it, and not even just to pick Disney. I can't watch TV. It's very hard. I really enjoyed recently, what's the series? Westworld. Because I feel like that's a decoded. I feel like that they're just telling us something there, right? That I'm looking at that more of a piece of art, because some of this stuff is cool like that. And there's some of that, but I just can't with all the symbolism and the, especially when it comes to the kids and stuff. I can't. So it's like a part of me just wants to enjoy just pop culture, but I can't. It's so hard. So that part kind of sucks. But that's why I got into meditation and different things that I enjoy. Certain types of music that are not. That's another thing. Beautiful thing about the world we live in, that you don't have to consume. You don't have to consume pop. You go to SoundCloud and find all these artists that are definitely not encoding their music with this Luciferian bullshit, or we're going to call it evil. Just call it evil bullshit. So that's my, I don't know. Clint, what about you? You're kind of newly awakened, but you don't give a, this guy's just such a cool character. Nothing bothers you.
No, it's like, I mean, I realize I don't feel great about it, but I realize that freaking out isn't going to help me any.
You're kind of that way with everything, though.
Yeah. I mean, I learned that just from being in shitty situations, honestly. I don't know, man. It's hard because once you start to, like, awaken, then it's a catch-22, right? Because then you look at everything as in it's being manipulated.
I got you. Yeah, that's true. When you find out one thing is bullshit, then you start to think everything is bullshit, and everything is not bullshit.
Exactly, and it becomes hard of trying to differentiate what you think is like.
I agree with that.
Real and fake.
I definitely agree with that. I really do, because it could all be. Sometimes I play with the idea that like the elites, it's like the Wizard of Oz was a documentary. Like, they are not as fucking powerful, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's exactly what it is.
I think about
it's
that
some idiot behind the thing. That's why when they go, they planned this and that. Did they? Like, I think they probably maybe hire people to help them plan stuff. But, I mean, I think that, like we talked about that one day, all the plans that, Project Bluebeam and this and that, I think that the goal of the plan is one thing, but then how it actually gets implemented and gets rolled out is probably, to us, wouldn't even resemble what the original plan actually was. Yeah, so, like, those things are probably happening in some sort of other semblance of what they were originally intended to be, but they're still going forward. It's just not like everybody thinks everybody plans something to a T, and that's exactly how it rolls out. And I think that's probably a limited amount of times that actually happens.
You know, Sam always says too that things get away from them, the internet, everything, and it does. And that's kind of goes back to the beginning of our conversation about the internet and how we can all speak to each other like this right now. We're sharing ideas. Like, they didn't plan for that. No. They thought that was going to be their technology. And the fact that people are waking up, and maybe this lockdown was planned, but guess what it did? It made even more people are waking up even at a faster rate because they're sick and tired of fucking Hollywood and all this shit. So now they're on their computer and they're looking at content creators and they're finding like-minded people, and so shit gets away. And like you said, the plan they had, but it didn't roll out. I'm actually shivering. I'm so cold.
I know it's cold.
I would be doing that because it's freezing in here right now.
I would think that just the way that they have manipulated social media should wake people up. I would hope the fact that they have, whether you agree with people or not, and you know, most people are not they say this stuff, but most people aren't actually. Can't compartmentalize enough to put their feelings aside and then go, it's fucked up that you're trying to silence that person, even though I don't agree with them. But I think that there is a percentage of people that are realizing that and going like, whoa, you can't just silence a big, portion of.
Yeah. Yep. With all the like political or whatever you want to call it. But
it just happens to be on the same side. I don't know. I would hope that would wake people up.
That should be waking people up. I mean, you're right. That's one that people that are just regular consumers of regular media could see right out the back.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff are getting away from them. I think it's time to wrap this up because it's starting to. We got a serious weather thing going on right now, and I want everyone to get home safe.
Well, at the very least, if you get stuck there, you got enough water for like 45 days.
I haven't showed you mine. But.
Yeah, Clint's is even bigger.
I might have to get you like a normal sized water bottle. You pulled that thing out. I thought you were invading Iraq.
Micah, you are always welcome back here if you ever dare. This was a lot of fun. Please tell everyone about your books and where we can find them.
All right, you can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's on Apple, anywhere you get it, but mostly Amazon. It's called Into the Rabbit Hole, and the first 3 books are called Beneath the Veil. The second one is The Sacred Stones, and the third one is The Secret Weapon. That just dropped yesterday. So go out, get these books if you want to learn about all this kind of stuff. I barely touched astrology today. I barely touched it because we were having such a good conversation. But there's so much more that I put in the books. And not only that, but it's also, I talk about a ton of conspiracies that are real. One of my characters, when you go home and you get the books and you finally get the books, you'll see a character named Blur Slanders. He's a TV host. Mm-hmm. He's literally Alex Jones. I listened to Alex Jones for like 6 months straight, and I got all his nuances down. So when you read the book, you have to read it in Alex Jones's voice.
Okay.
When you get the Blur Slanders.
Love that. I will do that, and I love that. I cannot wait to read these books. You know, that's what I'm going to read them, and we're going to have you back if you. I know you're a busy guy. But yeah.
No, listen. I mean, I'm having shoulder surgery Christmas Eve, so I'm gonna be in a sling for 4 to 6 weeks. So if you guys want to do a show, like, you'll be in touch. Like, we have each other's contact.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. And then also, man, once things really do clear up and you feel more comfortable, we love to have you in studio. You're not that far. We have a comedy club, so we'd have you out for a comedy show and then a podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we could have a lot of fun with that.
Where are you? Actually, tell me off air.
Yeah, well, everyone knows. We're in Morris County, New Jersey. We're at the Dojo of Comedy. That's where the studio is. So, yeah, we will love to have you on in studio, which is a lot more fun. It just makes it so much, the Zoom is great, but in studio, it's a lot easier for me, at least. I'm also kind of new at podcasting.
Yeah,
but
we could do this again. I want to go into, there's more astrology that we can go into that I can give you guys some more information on. We could talk about conspiracy theories. Operation Bluebeam's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's actually going to happen.
Oh, God. I know, me too. I've been talking about it forever, but I feel like it's really right around the corner.
I mean, look how many times are they like, look, it's an angel or it's the Virgin Mary in the clouds. They're prepping you for it.
They're prepping us. I know. I've been saying it. The first time I was ever on a podcast, that's what I was on Sam's podcast, and it was an impromptu. I was just hanging out with him, and his guest canceled, and he was like, come on, I've never done any of this before. It was in studio or whatever, and I just kept talking about Project Bluebeam, and I just because, and this is way before where we're at now. I just knew it was the next thing coming, and we're close to it. It's gonna happen. I mean, they are prepping us for it. They're prepping us for us. Micha, this was awesome. Micha Dank, everybody. Everyone check him out. Buy his books. I'm going to, and I'm done reading them. We're gonna have him back. Thank you so much, bro. It's been awesome, man. Thank you.
Bro, you're awesome.
Talk to you. See everyone later. Episode 23 next week will be Clint and I dropping some truth bombs. Guys, I love you. Swarm family, you're the best. Guys, be safe in our first storm in the Northeast. Later.
Yeah.